speaker extraordinaire for the day is our very own, the one, the only, Jimmy.
I got your dollar bills.
All right, thank you. How's everybody doing? All right? Yeah. All right. So I'm making a big gamble today, and I'm try something new. It's called confession. I hope you're okay with that. All right. How many of you have goals?
Yeah.
Are you doing them? That's what I wanted to talk to you about, because I want to make a choice. Now, I speak for a living. I'm a professional speaker. A lot of people would say a motivator. I hope that's true today, because I want to motivate you to change your life, because you can if you choose to do so. If you choose to do so. Because goals are great. But if you don't have any self-discipline, they don't mean crap. Now, I would tell you, you should have goals. And if you don't have goals, you need to speak to Mr. Brad Warren, who will help you figure out how to do it. He's very, very good at it. I would highly recommend him. We've spent time together. Very valuable for me. So I wanted to talk about, if you'll put those slides up for me, I went on a diet. Now, it's like, oh, Jim, you're going to talk about your diet? Yeah, actually, because I thought it'd be good not to be the fat motivator. Everybody's like, he's trying to get us fired up, but the guy can't stop eating stuff. And I wanted to talk to you about how to keep the weight off. Because the problem is, you know what to do. I decided to go on a diet. I was not happy with my weight, and took a look and thought, I really need to do something about this. I'm not satisfied. And I decided that I should take a 30-day challenge. August the 6th, I was supposed to go to Hawaii, to our division of DR Horton in Hawaii, and check out our homes and talk to our salespeople there. And they had this little thing, they call it a hurricane. In fact, they were going to have 2. So I got a call and they said it'd be a good idea not to, probably spiral to your death in a metal tube. So I thought, okay, good. That's a good choice. I won't do that. And on the 6th, I realized I was going to be able to be here at our meeting on the 8th. At our meeting on the 8th, and a lot of you may not remember, it was just a quick moment, but I did something. I made a public proclamation. I did. I knew Brad would, brother, I'm going to meet you outside. I swear to God. And I said I will weigh 270 pounds by September 5th, because I knew I was going to be here. By the way, I've been traveling in between. I knew I would not see you in the intervening time from August 8th until today. And so I said, all right, I got a chance to go hide away. I got like this 28, 30 days. I can go do this thing. I'll show up. I'll be svelte. It'll be awesome. Now, I will tell you, I did not make my goal. I did not make my goal. But the progress, worth it. Worth it. Now, I wanted to lose, I found out, because I just, on August 6th, I said, I'm just going to do this, right? And I weighed 293.2. And then I thought, if I really want some motivation, I'm going to tell like 75 people that I'm going to do this. Holy, am I doing this? And I did. It would be a good idea because I committed to myself I was going to do it, and I shared this with you on Friday the 8th, and I weighed 294.4. Not going the right way. So for those of you doing math at home, I had to lose 24.4 pounds from the 8th, which is roughly 28 days, which is, you can't. Or it's possible, but it involves cutting off a foot. So, right, don't, not a good idea. Now here's my frustration, and this is why I call it keeping the weight off. By the way, if you look at the word weight, I'm going to use so many anachronisms today, I'm going to try and set a record. I've never used this many in one presentation, I'm going to go for it. Do you know what it means to wait? It means to waste and ignore time. That's what WAIT stands for. Some of you are waiting for the business to come to you, right? I saw a quote, actually, on my phone. I get this quote every Friday from this guy who sends them out. And his quote for the day is, "Someday is not a day of the week." I will do this someday. If you're sitting out here, are you waiting for the business to come to you? Now, here's the problem. I'm about to go on a diet. I know how to lose weight. I know how to lose weight. In fact, if I do the things with a daily discipline, and I go on a diet, which is ready, D-I-E-T, do it every time. It works every time. If I do these things, if I do it every time, I will lose weight. I've done this before. You know the rules. So I believe that everybody here can keep the weight off if you went on a diet. The problem is self-discipline, right? It's about doing the thing. So you have to introduce some things, like telling 75 people you're going to do something. You might have to ratchet the level that you're going to play. So if you're going to keep the weight off, you got to make sure that you go on a diet. Now, a diet is an imbalance. You want an imbalance, right? By the way, if I went to write this diet book, I would not be, as a bestseller, it'd be like 2 pages. I'd be like, "Hi, how you doing? Expert, my name is Jim Suth. Lower the input, increase the output." Thank you. Thank you so much. This is my diet pamphlet. And it works. So here's what happened. I want to set up this now. Why am I having this conversation with you personally about my diet? I wanted to go on a 30-day challenge about self-discipline because I wanted to have this conversation with you very frankly about how hard that is to do, but how necessary it is for you and your business. The surprising thing is I think a lot of you know the goals you want to achieve. You may have set those goals. By the way, your goals should be SMART. If you don't know why they should be SMART, specific, measurable, talk to Brad Warren. I want Brad Warren to get some business today because he's worth it.
Thank you.
You bet. Now I'll tell you, when you're looking to, now I've got my goals, it's about the self-discipline to perform it. And I've got to go on this 30 days. I'm going to challenge you to take 30 days to choose to do something for your business. Because here's the deal, you know what to do. My belief is you actually set a goal and you know what to do. The question is, are you going to do it? So I want to give you some ideas on how you can make that happen. Now if you give me that next slide, I appreciate that. So here we are, we're going to talk about keeping the weight off. Here's my situation. Go ahead and just click that button for me, will you? The issue is truly knowing what to do and not doing it. Would you agree? I mean, let's call it what it is, right? Now, I got mad at myself because I said it's not good to be the fat motivator. I have 2 fake knees right now. When I go to the airport, I have to go through the spinning wheel of death, right? Because if not, you know, they keep telling me, "Hey, dude, you're TSA pre." And I'm like, "No, don't make me go do. Back to my hands, back to my hands." It's, I don't want a free massage at the airport, I don't. But my knees are already jacked because I probably weigh more than I should. And my doctor said that, dude, every pound you weigh is 5 pounds on your knees. This is for free to bother some of you today because you should make different choices in your life. I do not want to be the guy at Disneyland on the scamp with his grandkids because he's too fat to walk. I hope I'm hurting some feelings because you need to get mad. Because you need to say to yourself, wait a minute, I could do this thing if I just had some self-discipline, right? Right. If you said, I want to have 2 listings in the next 30 days, have you done that before? Has anyone gotten 2 listings in 30 days before? Yeah? Has anybody made the 50 phone calls it took to do it when you first got started? Right? How many different meetings like this did you network and go to? How many different old clients did you call to check? There is a formula. You need to have a plan. You know what a plan is, right? It's a personal lust after numbers. That's what a plan is. Because if you lust after numbers, you can break it down. In order to achieve some self-discipline, you have to say, I need to do X by Y. I need to do this thing by this time. And so I need to be able to measure it, and I need to break it down so I can look at it every day. I ought to be able to do something for 30 days, shouldn't I? Ask yourself the same question, because if you don't, you won't keep the weight off. And you'll be waiting for the business that you hope will come to you because you didn't go to get it. Goal achievement is the going to get it. That next, if you will, click it. Anytime. Right now even would be great.
It's waiting.
Is anybody feeling it keeping the weight off there? There we go. Okay, when you diet, you find you can do it every time. Click it again. Not exercising self-discipline means you wasted, ignore time. That's what waiting is about. Click it again, please. I decided to embark on a 30-day challenge on August 6th. Click it again. I weighed 293.2. My scale weighs in fifths. 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. And so I figured out that for me to get to my goal, I had to lose about 0.8 pounds a day to achieve the goal. So I made a chart that I put over the scale that I had to mark out every day. There are things that you can do. What is it you want to achieve in your business? 2 new contacts? How many people will I need to contact to make that happen? How many calls a day? How many places do I need to visit? What appointments do I need to make? By the way, all of this, you should go, oh gosh, Jim, I wish you'd bring us something new. I'm not. You guys know what to do. I guess the frustration with myself is I know how to lose weight, it's just the doing part. A lot of you have identified your goals. It's the doing part that's the frustration that you have to go do it. So I know that my scale, by the way, goes to 306 because I've read it. Actually, this is sad. I'm admitting it's a full confession. I hope that's okay. How was the meeting? Oh, Jim broke down. It was really scary. Over 306, my scale says FLL. It's a digital scale. I think FLL stands for fool, lose the llama. Because you must be holding one if you weigh this frickin' much. Now, I will tell you, I'm pretty happy that I weigh 276.4 today. Right? I lost 15 pounds. But usually when you meet somebody that's 6'2", 275, they're either playing football or they're a fat guy that's in real estate. And so I have to go. But guess what? I'm okay with the forward momentum. I want to talk about forward momentum because sometimes people say, well, I will do that someday. I'll start that. Listen, if you said to yourself, for 30 days, I'm going to concentrate. I'm going to take this challenge for myself just to make sure I can identify some self-discipline. By the way, you can create good habits for yourself, self-discipline-wise, if you attack this process. And these are things you know how to do that you have to repeat. We're going to talk about that. So when I made my bold statement to you, I weighed 294.4. Really, not real smart. So next slide, if you would. Please. Thank you. Okay, just for those of you who are curious, because people keep asking me, these are my rules. These are my rules. Now, you're going to pick a challenge for yourself, all right? You're going to pick a challenge for yourself. I did not bring my scale. You're going to, yeah, trust me, 276.4, not worth it yet. Don't want to see it naked. All right. So these are the rules. I made specific rules for myself. They're very simple. I know what the basic things are to achieve the goal. Here's what I would need to do on a daily basis to make this happen. By the way, I've done it before. Some of you, when you first got into the business, you had some crazy success, which is what made you stay. Instead of, like Don said, run screaming, brother. This is your last chance. And, you know, buy Charlotte's Web. They're getting more popular. These are free. That was my friend Tim Toton. Thank you so much for that. Now, these are my rules. I've got to weigh naked every morning at 8 o'clock. Why? Because there can't be any difference in clarity. It can't be, I think I was wearing those shoes. Wait a minute, I had on those shorts. I probably did, right? You're naked. No choices. I walk a mile a day. That is not a lot. There's a track right below where I live at junior high school in Dublin Ranch, and I can just walk around that thing 4 times. I can do it in 20 to 30 minutes. If I do it every day, and I do these other things, I will lose weight. By the way, if you're trying to lose weight, you must, I repeat, must, sleep 7 to 8 hours a day. This is for free. By the way, I've tracked this. The difference between sleeping 6 hours and 7 hours is a pound. A pound. The difference is when I slept 6 and measured, and slept 7 is a pound. It's getting enough sleep. 7 to at least 8 if you can. Now what does that mean? When we're talking about the things you're about to do to keep the weight off, it means if you're choosing some self-discipline, there may have to be sacrifices. You can't say to yourself, I really like that show, so I'm going to stay up. By the way, you have to make certain sacrifices, and my frustration, and I'll show you my chart, when I got to about 20 days in and I realized I had 10 days left and I still had 17 pounds left to lose, holy crap. Now here's my greatest frustration. I could have made it. I could have made it. But I didn't stick to my rules as aggressively as I should. But with 10 days in, knowing that I had to come see you and admit that I hadn't made it to 270, 75 of my friends and say, guess what, I didn't make it. Thank you for the forward progress. I also had to admit that I wasn't going to wear what I was supposed to wear today. Because when you make a choice for yourself and you make this 30-day challenge, I'm going to ask you to actually purchase and obtain the prize that you will get for doing so at the beginning. I want you to money up for the thing that you're going to earn at the start that you don't get to have at the end if you don't make it. So far you've told 75 friends that you have a stupid idea, and then you spend $150 because you really wanted to wear this. Now I'll tell you, no applause, you're not going to see it, it's so sad. Now I'll tell you, I went to Macy's, they had a sale. These are Sean Johns, I'm a big fan, you know, Puff Daddy, love wearing his clothes, it's all good. This would look good too, this would look pretty fly, wouldn't it?
Microphone, they couldn't hear you.
Hi Mom, how you doing? I would have worn this today if I weighed 270. In fact, if I'd have weighed 270.8, I'd have put it on. Because I'd have been so at 276.4, I'm 5.6 pounds apart. And I lost 5.6 pounds by not the daily discipline. I'm looking at this thing saying I could have done this. That's the frustration. Now, I'm very, very happy to be 18 pounds ahead. Because that's a win. In fact, how many of you are saying, I want to make 20 calls a day? And you realize it's really tough and life intrudes and you have trouble making it. At the end of the 30 days, you have to admit, man, on average, all I made was 12. Some of you right now are only making 2. Take the better. Take my challenge. You're going to have to make some rules for yourself. By the way, you got to eat breakfast because breakfast makes the pipes go. Your body's pretty amazing. God made it. And if you stop eating, after a few hours, it goes, wait, hold the phone. Are you going to keep not doing this? Are the teeth broken? There doesn't seem to be anything in this area, and you seem to do that a lot. What's up? And your body will start to react, and I know this sounds disgusting, but it's really true for you. You want to lose weight, sleep 8 hours, eat a solid, healthy breakfast with protein within an hour of that time frame, and it will move the pipes, my friends, right? Then you need the pipes to move. Stuff needs to get out for you to lose weight. This is too tough for some people. I'm so sorry, but it is part of the process. Now, next slide, please, next slide. All right, here's my chart. You can't read it, but here's what I'm going to tell you that you need to do. These are the steps. We're going to go over these again, but here, you ready? I hope if you write these down, you might take a 30-day challenge. Step number 1. You're going to have to determine the actual challenge. What is the thing, what is it I want to do X by Y? I want to do this thing by this amount of time. I say take a 30-day time frame, take a chunk. Sometimes when people say, this year I'm going to, and I feel like 365 days is a lot. I'm trying to break it down into that 30-day nut and say, what can I do in 30? By the way, the success of 18 pounds makes me feel pretty good about this 30, makes me feel pretty good about the next 30. Because I got some traction. I'm doing this thing. Because when you diet, you do it every time. It does work. If you start to do the business things you know to do to achieve your goal, you will get some traction. It's about the doing it, and you have to do it every day. You can't let yourself go. So the first thing you do, determine your challenge. That's step one. Step two, fast. What? Fast. Let's talk about that. When you fast, you focus and you see threats. Are you keeping track of how many anachronisms? I think that's 4 or 5. Now, when you're talking about a diet, when you fast, that means you just don't eat, right? Usually here in a religious context, you fast and pray. These are things I really wanted to do for myself, and I'll tell you, I believe that Jesus Christ is the answer, and on a regular basis, it's a good idea to spend one day not eating. Now, by the way, I'll tell you why, and I don't mean 24 hours. Some people try to cheat. I had dinner at 5 o'clock on Tuesday, so that means I can have dinner at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. No, you gotta fast for a day. By that I mean you ate dinner Tuesday night, you went to bed, you don't eat again until Thursday morning. Because the first meal, you're like, lunch, you're like, I'm starting to feel it. By dinner, that hungry pang is saying to you, are you gonna remember this 30-day challenge you made? Sit down and think about what you're about to do. That would have been a good idea. Let me tell you what happened to me in the intervening 30 days from the last time I've seen you. Actually, 28 days. I should have fasted and focused to see threats. I should have fasted at the beginning. I didn't fast until Sunday, so I started on Wednesday the 6th. I didn't fast until the 10th. And then on the 10th, as I started to fill out my chart, and it wasn't just how much I weighed, my actual and then the difference, I started to put down, wait a minute, so August 12th through the 15th, I'm going to be in Hawaii, right? Where they make these things called loco mocos, which is rice and a hamburger patty and then an egg and some brown bread. It's God's gift to food. And you can stop at a 7-Eleven and get Spam musubi. You know, it's like Spam, it's just good stuff. It's Hawaii is terrible. There's just sweet and gravy and And if you're going to be in Hawaii, and I gained weight in Hawaii. Then the next, I was there 4 days in Las Vegas, 3 days in Vegas, 1 day in Southern California. Then I had a wedding rehearsal because I was going to be performing the ceremony marrying my niece, which was very fun to do. I was a deputy of civil marriages for a day. But when you go to the party for the wedding rehearsal, then I had to drive all the way to Bakersfield and back in one day. That's a 4-hour ride. Gilroy is 2 hours in the morning and back. Right here's my 32nd wedding anniversary. I had to take her out. It's been 32 years. You know, it's a good idea. And then the wedding, and at least at the wedding, you know, you might dance a little bit and sweat, hopefully, if you don't overeat. And then I had to end up in the desert for 2 days. I was in Seattle for a day on Wednesday to get here on the 5th. If I'd have looked forward, if I'd have fasted and for 1 day, not 8, and said, okay, am I serious about this 30 days? Now, why am I asking you to do this physical thing? Because your body will say, so are we doing this? When your body gets hungry, it's surprising how used we are to not being hungry. And everybody in here is frustrated in as much business as you want. There are some people who go hungry. You got to get a taste of going hungry. For you to say, okay, I'm serious about this. This is a reminder, I'm going to do this thing. Next slide. So here's the 30-day challenge, and I want you to consider it. Click it, please. Number 1, determine the challenge. I will do X by Y and set the rules. You saw my rules. I'll weigh myself by 8 o'clock. I'll walk a mile a day. I will sleep 7 to 8 hours. I'll have breakfast within 60 minutes of waking. And then I'll portion control. By the way, if you want to choose and go on a diet for 30 days, know that when you go to a restaurant, you don't have to eat all of the food on the plate. By the way, it's fat, protein, carbs, 1, 2, 3. It's the zone diet. If you do it, it keeps things, it's balanced food. So if you go to Wendy's, for instance, I travel. Here's the frustrating thing. What I'm telling you I know how to do, isn't that sad? It's about the doing part. I know that if I go and get a large chili with cheese and onions at Wendy's, that's about fat, protein, carbs, it's even. You can do it in the drive-thru, but you only get that chili. If you go to Taco Bell, I'm sorry, you can't have a box. That's 3 items. 2 items or less is the way you play, and the goal is to get it down to 1. A burrito supreme fits. If you go to In-N-Out Burger, you can buy 2 hamburgers with onions on it if you want them. And you can have a diet soda, but you can't have those fries. I'm so sorry. But I know these things. So you set the rules for yourself for your challenge. By the way, is there something you think about? I want you to just ask top of mind. Is there something you'd like to achieve in 30 days?
Yes.
You already know what it is, right? By the way, do you know how to get there? Probably. Next slide, please. Determine the challenge, then fast. Focus and see threats for the next 30 days. Don't eat for 1 day. And take a look and say, okay, I'm doing this, it's serious. It also means you got to make that chart. You're going to make that chart, and if you are going to make a chart like I did, it's going to be over the scale in the morning. You can't go pee without remembering I have to do this thing I said. Your chart should be physically printed out that you have to fill out by hand. I have one that I keep on my computer, but when I was on the road, I couldn't measure myself. So I say you make a physical chart for home, and then a chart on the computer that goes with you if you end up traveling like I do. You have to do it. Step 3, here we go. Public proclamation. Tell someone or many out loud. If you're going to do something for 30 days, and you're going to do it aggressively, and you've made a chart, and you stopped eating for a day to concentrate on it, you're about to begin. I don't know if you remember this. It was great. It was right after Christmas. And we came in, and I want to say his name was Craig. I apologize. He was our speaker about 2 weeks in, like January 15th or something. And he said, hey, how many of you took some time off around the holidays? How many of you took time off to, be with your family and took some time off? And a lot of us were like, oh, yeah, sure, I did in the holidays. He goes, no, I'm sorry. Let me define what I mean by time off. You took a day off, and you actually told people you were taking that day off. In fact, step 2, you changed your voicemail. And it said, hey, it's me. I'm not working today because I'm taking my daughter to the zoo. And I will be unavailable. I will return your calls tomorrow. And then he said, hey, how many of you took some time off during the holidays? And there was like one lonely hand. And the key was, he told somebody. It was the accountability. You really take a day off if you tell everybody, I'm taking a day off. By the way, he got a number of phone calls, and the recorded messages were, oh man, I hope you guys had fun at the zoo. Not that important. Let's hook up tomorrow at such and such. Everybody respected that time. I want you to work hard and play hard, but I'm saying if you want to achieve this 30-day goal, if you don't, look, if I didn't tell you, would you be the wiser? Could I have got up and done any presentation I wanted today? You wouldn't know. That the cost had to be great enough for me to choose it. Because I need to lose weight. Because I'm tired of waiting. Because if you wait, you do what? You waste and ignore time. Sunday is not a day of the week. I can't wait. Are you waiting for the business to get better? Are you waiting for it to come to you? Do you think that it'll just magically happen without you? If I read my goals every morning, they'll somehow, I'll put them under my pillow. That worked in high school when I studied for that history exam. Not going to work. Public proclamation, tell someone or many someones, and by that I mean out loud. You physically say, this is what I'm going to do. And that's because you made a purpose. Now, this could be something, it's the kind of thing that's really tough, and I want you to think of some of these people. Some of you, realtors in the room, you have a broker in the office, right? And you're self-employed, and he's your broker, and you're doing business, and you have an office there, you pay some sort of a fee. We kind of have an agreement, right? Some percentage. I'm not beholden to this guy unless you tell him something you're going to do in 30 days. She will check back with you. Who is the person you don't want? Your spouse? Hey, honey, let me tell you what I've decided to do. Oh, okay. Anybody here interested in inviting someone to nag them? Give it up. I'm sorry, do you have self-discipline or not? Can you do it or not? I don't think anybody, if you're here and this morning, you got up early, you haven't lost faith in yourself. I don't think. I want you to go for it. Next slide. Purchase the reward. Oh man, I wanted to wear it. I really did. It was going to look good. And when I walk in here one Friday morning with that on, you'll see it. You'll be like, Jim weighs 270. I appreciate it. I know that I haven't had anybody not rooting for me. There wasn't anybody that wanted to catch me. They wanted me to make it. When somebody says, I'm deciding to do this for me because it's good for me, by the way, here's some ancillary things that happened, right? These are the kind of things that will happen when you make these decisions. When you put pressure on yourself and you take a 30-day challenge, you'll start getting up on time. You'll make choices. When there's 10 days left to make your goal and you start freaking out, you'll do what I did. And you'll lug that damn bike all the way down the stairs and put it in the frickin' living room. Because if I'm here and I'm watching TV, which is my snag, if you focus and see threats, if you fast and you say, I know the thing that always takes me off my game, I end up sitting in front of the couch for 3 hours, 4 hours at night, I'll watch TV, I love TV. If I know that that's the case, then for every 60 minutes of TV I watch, I got a pedal for 30 of them. I haven't seen as much TV, I lost some weight, and I got some other things done, because now I have to decide, how bad do I want to see that show? Do I want to see that show 30 minutes worth of pedaling during half of it? And my wife doesn't love that the bike is in the living room, and she's rooting for me. So you start doing other activities because I needed to keep busy. I said to myself, 10 days left, 17 pounds, everything I do has to be about my goal now. I'm 10 days away. It refocuses you again. I've got 10 days left. So now everything I do, I have to walk, I have to run. So I started doing goofy stuff like, I guess I'll clean my office because I can't watch TV. I clean my office, it's been crappy for a long time, I gotta clean my office. There are some other benefits you will see by all of a sudden you're sharper, you're getting up early. By the way, it is way easier to walk a mile now than it was when I started. First time I walked a mile, I was pretty surprised. I was, the first time you make those 20 calls you said you would make, you're going to go, wow, this is, can I do this every day? Until you realize that that's just the discipline. I make 20, I don't care. I'll open the phone book. If you don't have a lead, cold call. When's the last time you seriously farmed? Like you meant it. I'm sorry, you know what to do, right? I don't need to lecture you. I just need to ask you to challenge yourself to see if you have the self-discipline to do the job that your tag says you do. Are you interested? Do you want to try? So, you're going to have to do these things, and lastly, one more slide if you would. Celebrate the success and then repeat or renew. Because, click that slide again. If you stop, you start trouble obtaining your purpose. You can't stop. By the way, for those of you who wanted to go on a 30-day challenge and even wanted to follow my lead, talk to a doctor. He said your body's amazing. It likes to be comfortable, and it liked where it was. So if you take 10 or 15 or 20 pounds off of it, you're going to have to do this for 9 months to convince your body that you plan to stay there, or it will go back. So your 30 days, you'll be like, sweet. In 3 months, you'll be back there because your body is going to fight you unless you keep doing it. When you diet, you will do it every time. It still works. It's self-discipline. So I'm going to ask you, click one more time if you would. I'm really going to ask you to make a plan because it's a personal lust after numbers. You can't break down what you want to achieve by physical blocks of time and units that you want to achieve in a daily basis. There are things you can do daily. My friends, I'm slightly embarrassed because I'm a cocky guy. And I fully wanted to be a 270. I wanted to wear that because I was going to look like a badass. By the way, it fits. I did try it on. I was sad. But you know what? That's okay. I'm going to celebrate my success. I'm going to take my 18 and I'm going to repeat. I'm going to renew. So my next date, I will weigh 260 by August 14th. There's a special date for me. August, I'm late. October 14th. October 14th. I'm asking you aggressively to make a challenge to yourself. I didn't want to get up here and talk about it if I couldn't take a crack at it myself. And I'm not going to fool you, it's hard. I love food. It's a new place called Fresh Picks, where they serve you pizza, which is God's gift to man. That and Loco Mocos. So, my friends, you have 2 days to Sunday night. Because Monday, if you're going to make a challenge, by the way, oh, when will I, Sunday? No, I'm saying now. I'm saying you got 30-day challenge, it's got to start Monday, and I'll bet you already know what that thing is. Am I right?
Yeah, eat before.
Challenge yourself to make a difference for your business, because it will change your life. Thank you so much. My name's Suth.
I think that's the most serious I've ever heard you, Jim. Yeah, I was thinking of a quote. Discipline is choosing what we want most versus what we want now. So remember that. It's really great. Thank you. We are going to do community announcements.